Hey there, this is Sagar from Live the Life You Love. So today I want to talk about something that I've been recently experiencing, which is presence and coming into the present moment, stopping the chatter of the mind, and how that has been very important in my life these days, especially. And how am I feeling about it? How it's affecting all areas of my life. So I, by nature, am a very anxious person, and my thoughts just never stop. I'm always thinking about something, some idea, some daydreams, some worries, or just something that's not about this moment. And a lot of things that I think about never turn out to be true, or never really show up as I was worrying about. Or the daydreams I have, they never really come to fruition. And a lot of ideas that I have, I never put them into action. And on top of that, I was losing what there is to be lived and to be experienced in the present moment. And culturally speaking, this is how we are grown up. We are mind-dominated society. So this is quite natural for everyone to feel, and including me, and slowly I have, after years of meditation, and it doesn't really require years of meditation, but for me it required years to realize that everything else is not important as present moment, as where we are and what we are feeling in this moment inside our body, and what's happening outside, and being alert, being aware, and not having this blindfold of thoughts or colored glasses tainted by our perspectives, which is constructed by our past or our assumptions, and which to me which is very important, because as I started leading a business, and I'm also trying to travel and explore the world, and now I'm in a sincere relationship. I have a girlfriend, and it's been 2 years, and we are together, and it presents a lot of challenges as well. Every relationship has challenges. Friendship, whether it's a lover, whether it's parents, family. So, for example, I'm with my girlfriend, and we are chatting, and we're having fun, and suddenly I keep thinking about my business, and some ideas pop up, and some worries pop up, and I'm completely distracted, and she can feel it, and which is not fun experience after that anymore, right? I have to switch back, and I have to turn off the thoughts. And I love my business. What I'm doing is very interesting. It's an IT business, and we are growing. We have 6 people now. So constantly I'm being hit by new ideas and new things to do and new actions to take. And as we have 6 people, they're always pinging me because they're all in different parts of the world, So I'm always bombarded with messages, and then there are customers who are always asking for support, right? So, and we are in this digital age where anyways we're constantly bombarded with notifications and social friend requests, and just anything that grabs our attention, right? So, coming back to the topic, how presence has been important because the habit of being present really helps in focusing what we are doing and living it fully, and living it in a way that's very satisfactory. And sometimes I would go into a forest and go for a hike and be in this beautiful place, and my mind would be just constantly running with different things, and I would come back from that place and I wouldn't remember a lot of things that I lived in that place, and I wouldn't feel that I went into nature, because nature is something that just really connects with me and of course a lot of people out there. And it's important to just be present, right? If we are spending a lot of time in there, if we are there, if we put efforts to go there and be there, and if we are still not there mentally, if we are still not there with our whole being, why did we go into there in the first place? Another example of not being present is not doing videos that I have been wanting to do, because there are always thoughts and distractions coming up and say, hey, this is more important, hey, focus on the business, hey, this, that, hey, like, and hey, you haven't done a video for a long time, so it's gonna be hard, and this constant stream of thoughts that leave me like paralyzed. So finally, after so long, I'm glad that I'm in front of the camera and I'm talking about this topic. And I just meditated for half an hour before this, and things just became quite natural. I picked up my tripod, I picked up my camera, I focused it, I sat in the right place with the right amount of light, I put my microphone on, and now I'm shooting a video. And as if it's happening by itself rather than me trying to force it. Just because I'm present, just because I'm listening to my feelings and how my body wants to act, rather than how my mind wants to act, and rather than how it judges what I am capable of or not. Another reason to be in the present moment and stopping the chatter of the mind is to be able to unlock the full potential as all of us has. Because a lot of things that we are capable of, our mind says that we are not. And as I said, making a video right now is an example of that. Just another example of the same thing is any sports activity or any workout that we're doing, any physical activity we're doing, our mind like, hey, I'm tired, hey, I can't do it, hey, I went jogging a few days ago, and I haven't been very regular at my physical activity for a long time now. And so I went there and my mind was like constantly like, hey, you haven't like been jogging for a long time, and now it's time to stop, now like I'm tired, whatever, and I was able to like focus on my feet rather than my mind, and my feet were just like going automatic, like they were just running, they were just like going forward, like they were like, I want to do more, like I've been missing this for a long time, like don't stop. And so now I want to talk a little bit about my process of how I'm learning to not be captivated by the chatter of the mind and be present. So I have been reading this book called The Power of Now, an amazing book about being present and the process on how to do it. So that book has really helped me. I've been reading it for a month or two, and I go through one chapter and I try to implement it into my life, and then sometimes I go through it again. I'm halfway through the book and it's been really, really helping me. So I recently went into Matta, the valley of Matta, which is a region in Minas Gerais in Brazil, like 7 hours from here. And I did a course in there. This course is for basically therapists, but I was interested into this course also as a part of like being self-aware and in my journey of like finding what I really want and who I am, and self-knowledge, right? So I spent about a week in there after the course. The course was 4 days, and we all had very important like self-knowledge experiences, things that were deep within ourselves, and we were all like realizing it, and they were coming forward, and there was a lot of like self-healing because of that, like our traumas and our fears and our challenges and desires. And after that I decided to stay a week more in there, and I went to waterfalls and I spent a lot of time in nature, and I did other kinds of therapies in there. One was with Hape, it felt to me like an Ayahuasca ceremony. I was at the waterfall when we did it, and my body was aching, and I could feel my mind finally coming to a stop, and a lot of cleansing was happening, like I was vomiting all the time. I really don't know if you know about Ayahuasca ceremonies, but it felt very similar to me, so I would say look up on Google what is Ayahuasca, Ayahuasca, and how that works. And after this whole experience, we came back here in São Paulo, that's where I live, and we went to another ceremony in here, which is by an Indian spiritual leader called Amma. So one of the disciples of Amma came to São Paulo, and we did a ceremony, and the ceremony was very beautiful because there was nothing about like God or a person or anything like spiritual in the sense, or religious, right? The whole ceremony was about feeling the Mother Earth and asking and praying for peace on this planet because of how we have been polluting it, and how it's very necessary that we transform our habits as humanity, and we lead a better life, and so this whole ceremony was about praying for peace and love on this planet, and we really felt how our prayers were affecting each of us internally as well. Like a lot of people were crying, I was crying, because there was just a lot of emotion and vibrations that we all felt. And after this whole period, on Monday I started working again, and Mondays are the most difficult for me to be present because there's a lot of work, and we have group meetings on my business, and all of us are like coming up with lots of things to do for the rest of the week, and Monday is really the day we define it, and also personally I do a lot of work on Monday. I try to do as much as I can do on Monday, and provide my whole team everything that they need to be able to work the whole week. So Monday is the craziest for me. And the way I started this Monday was completely different than any Mondays I've ever lived in my whole life. I woke up early and naturally I just came up here and to meditate, and I meditated for like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and I haven't exercised for a long time. My whole body was like, let's move a bit, let's do some yoga, let's do some stretches. So I did that, and then it was like, okay, let's do some push-ups and let's do some pull-ups, and I just did like a 1 hour routine of my exercises, and it was just all natural. Like I was not thinking about anything. My whole body was like, okay, do this, do that, and feel this, and feel this part, I was just 99% present. Like my mind was chattering sometimes, like, hey, it's Monday, hey, see who is messaging you, who is like, what's happening at work, and my whole, like, I was just not listening to as much. And yesterday I went jogging again, I meditated. Today as well, I started the day with meditation and exercises. And naturally, suddenly out of that, I was like, okay, I want to talk about this right now. I want to make this video about being present and the importance of that, and how I'm feeling in my life about it. So, I've also been using Hashish to calm down my mind, because Hashish really helps me to like let go of my rational side, thinking side, and just feel my body, feel more of what's happening, like see everything that I'm seeing more clearly and with more awareness. So, for example, I'm looking at these flowers, and there's always a thought happening in my head, like I could be thinking about, like right now I'm looking at the flowers, and I'm thinking about like how it's gonna look like on the video, the crazy things that I'm saying right now, but I know this is just my mind, right? So, but I could really like just look at it and enjoy the beauty of the flower rather than like thinking about other things, right? So, Hashish really helps me to get into that state like really quickly. Like I smoke a few drags and I'm there, and I can really focus intensely. Like not just that, it really helps me to relax as well, obviously, and it helps me to just like enjoy the moment. And I really enjoy smoking hash when I'm on the beach, I'm traveling somewhere in a very beautiful place, right, in nature, in the forest, while hiking. Secondly, when I want to meditate, so when I'm meditating, I can really just let go of my thoughts and feel my whole body. And third, I have lots of good ideas about problems that I want to solve. I have a problem in my business, and something, I just sit down and I start like focusing on this problem, and suddenly like voices appear in my head, and the problem is resolved in the most amazing way possible. Einstein said that a problem cannot be solved in the same consciousness that it was created, right? I literally feel that, like I literally see a problem and I see the bigger picture of the problem, and I'm able to be grateful for that problem rather than like trying to solve it in a way. And this problem shows up a bigger picture of the whole situation, which I start working on that bigger picture. I start implementing that bigger picture, which affects the whole situation, the whole business, or my personal life in a way that's just, the problem doesn't exist anymore, but it also improves other parts of my life. So Hashish has been really helping me in this case. I was smoking Hashish on this Sunday, right? And at night I started meditating. I was listening to some really amazing songs. By the way, suggestion, if you are really going into self-knowledge and the nature of the world, and how we are all one, and energy, right? There is this artist called Nick Mulway. He is a British artist, and all of his songs are about our true nature as beings, and connecting with nature, and connecting with ourselves, and the universe, and in a very fun way. Like, it's not, doesn't seem like boring music, like, you know, a lot of Indian music I personally find boring, just because it's slow and it's like, I don't know, maybe I just haven't found the right music, right? But I really like this artist because all of his songs are like very happy going. There's a lot of, some of the stuff is also electronic, so you can like really just enjoy it and dance. I dance a lot after smoking hashish, especially on that music. Nick Mulvey, check it out. And my favorite song of Nick Mulvey would have to be In Your Hands, Fever to the Form. And the third is Nitrous. If you see your nitrous man selling laughter from a can, tell him that the dream still fits the plan. Just amazing songs. Try them out and let me know. So coming back, I smoked hashish on Sunday night. And I went to sleep after that. And I saw my body going to sleep. Like, I saw that my body was falling asleep, my breathing was changing, but inside I was awake. It was a very unique experience that I've never had before. I went to sleep and I was aware of my body. Like, I could see how each part of my body was relaxing more and more and more as I was falling asleep. My eyes were closed, my breathing was slowing down, and it was like becoming a rhythm in how was I breathing. But I was still awake inside. Like, I was not sleeping, like I was aware of what's happening. And I saw literally that how I'm not this body, like how I'm something deeper inside this body, something that controls this body as I wake up, or something that uses this as a vehicle, or something that inhabits this body, or connects with the consciousness of this body. I'm really still confused about this whole experience, but it was very cool to realize that me as my consciousness, as like who I really am, is something beyond this body, and probably when I die, like that consciousness would still exist. Like, when I die, as this body dies, and I leave this planet, and like whatever happens next, right? I feel, I have already known this fact. I feel secure about my death. Like, I don't feel afraid. What I feel afraid of is like losing a part of my body and then living the rest of my life like that, right? But I'm not afraid of like dying, because I do believe in rebirths, and certainly I do believe in like me not being my body, and there is something deeper inside myself, that who I really am. So this whole experience, this whole week and the past few months actually, right, have been allowing me to be more and more into the present moment, like one step at a time, and more time of the day that I can be present and not be lost into my thoughts. I'm just feeling incredibly amazing. Like, I'm really, really thankful and grateful to this book, The Power of Now, and this whole experience I had last week in Matta. It was actually my therapist who called me, and she's like, "Hey Sagar, there's this course of the same therapy that she does with me, and it functions, right?" So she's like, "There's a course on how to do it," and I was like, damn, I had to go there. Damn, I really had to visit that place as well, because they said this whole valley is very isolated place, like there's hardly any internet and there's electricity, but a lot of people don't even have electricity, and it's a valley. Like the next city is some 50 to 60 kilometers away. It's called Vale do Matutu, Valley of Matutu, Matutu. So you can see I'm putting some pictures in here. My heart, like, it was like a voice telling me, like, hey Sagar, just go there and like leave everything else. It's not important. This is important. Go there. It's highly important. I was like, okay, fuck, I have to go there now. So I went there on an overnight bus. I reached there one day late in the course because I had a lot of work before that, and I was completely tired. I couldn't sleep in the bus, but I was there and I couldn't believe that I went there, and the beautiful experiences I've had in there. And I met amazing people in there, like so loving people, like people who are just full of innocence, and they really have chosen to live in there. Like they know the civilized, like they know the madness of our cities and technology, and they're like, fuck that, like we want to live in nature. I am really grateful for this experience. So let me see if I'm missing anything. So I am still in the process of being present, like, because it comes and goes, right? Like I'm present in this moment, and then a notification pops up on my phone, and thoughts rush in, and then when I start working, there are lots of things happening. And anyways, we record thought, like to go to the market and buy some fruits, like to eat something, to do our daily things, right? We need our mind, but to be able to use the mind, the thoughts, the rational thoughts, and the power of the mind in a very productive way rather than very destructive way, or just losing energies into like mental processes and thoughts, which has nothing to do with reality at all, right? I'm learning this day by day, but the secret is always like coming back to the body, coming back to the present moment. So this book talks about how focusing on our body allows us to let go of our thoughts. Like if I'm thinking too much, we sometimes even forget like our body parts, right? We forget that like we are just completely somewhere else in our thoughts, lost and not here. So focusing on the body parts one by one, like feeling from the inside, right? Focusing on the breath, personally for me it really works. So we are mostly lost in our thoughts and not really living our life, because in the end there is no past, there is no future. There was only present, there is present, and in the future there will only be present, right? We live in the present, and present is the eternal time. There is no other time that really exists. It only exists in our thoughts, in our head, but what we experience right now is always present. So I want to know your perspective about this, and feel free to ping me, send me a message, and I'll be waiting for your feedback on this video as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.